Hi preschool, Miss Holokai here. I wanted to do another book about apples, okay? And I'm also going to post a quiz. It's going to be a picture of the parts of an apple. And I want mommy and daddy to videotape you pointing to each part and telling me what the part is, okay? So, if you remember in our apple book, we've got the stem. That's the stick part that attaches to the branch. The stem, the leaf, the skin, the core, that's the yucky hard part in the middle we throw away, and the seeds. And then the part we eat is called the flesh. So I want to see if you can name those parts, okay? This book we have here today, it's called Apples A to Z. It's an alphabet book about apples. And it's written by Margaret McNamara. She's the author. She did the words. And Jake Parker is the illustrator. He did the pictures. And it looks like there's a bear and a fox. Apples A to Z. Look at that picture of that pig eating those apples. A is for apples. Fox loves apples. Apples are one of the most popular fruits in the world. Every year, about 68 million tons of apples are harvested. 68 million tons. Wow, that's a lot. B is for blossoms. By late spring, apple trees are covered in blossoms or flowers. When the blossoms fall off the tree's branches, the fruits begin to form. Oh, look. Bear and pig are taking a nap, and fox and rabbit are having a race. Look at those beautiful blossoms. C is for cider. Bear makes cider by pressing apples, skins, seeds, and all into a cloudy, pulpy juice. Cider can be served hot or cold. So he's got to put those in the press and churn it and grind it up, and then the juice comes out. And I love it hot when it's a very cold day. You could have hot cider, put a little bit of cinnamon in it, and maybe some nutmeg. It's really yummy. D is for deciduous. Apple trees lose their leaves in the fall. This makes them deciduous trees. Oh, and they're jumping in the leaves. That's what we'll be able to do soon when October comes and more leaves fall down. Deciduous are trees that lose their leaves. There are some trees that don't. Do you know which ones? Think about Christmas for a minute. Pine trees, right? Pine trees are Christmas trees. They never lose their leaves. Those are evergreens. E is for eating. Fox and his friends eat raw apples, cooked apples, and dried apples. Delicious. Yum. Have you ever had apple chips or apple rings? Those are dried apples. They're kind of like crunchy like a potato chip, but it's an apple. It's a dried apple. F is for fruit. An apple is a kind of fruit. Some other fruits are oranges, bananas, and grapes. Fruits contain seeds and come from flowering plants. G is for grafting. I didn't know this. Fox attaches a branch of one kind of apple tree to the branch of another. This is called grafting. It can produce stronger, healthier trees and tastier apples. Wow! So he cuts off a branch from one apple tree, and look, he tapes it on another apple tree. It's called grafting. That's neat. H is for harvest. Fall is harvest time when ripe apples are picked from the trees. Apple picking is more fun with friends. There they are, picking those apples. I is for ice. Apple trees are very hardy, but winter ice storms can break branches and keep fruit from growing in the spring. Ooh. So I bet apple farmers have to be watchful of their trees to make sure that they don't get too cold, because then they won't grow in the spring. Oh, look at it. Snowball fight. J is for juice. Apple juice, like cider, is pressed from apples, but apple juice is filtered to be clear. So that's why apple cider is browner and it's darker. Apple juice is clear. K is for kitchen. A kitchen is the best place to make applesauce. Fox and Bear cut up some apples, spoon them into a pot, add a little water and sugar, and then simmer it on the stove until done. Wow. Wow. Maybe when we go back to the classroom, we can make some applesauce in the crock pot or something. Normally I make pumpkin pancakes, but I need to spice up the menu. Maybe we can do some applesauce. L is for leaves. Apple leaves are oval-shaped with small points. The edges of the leaves are toothed. Look, because they kind of look like teeth. M is for markets. Farmers markets and grocery stores are filled with many varieties of apples. Fox looks for Granny Smith, one of his favorite kinds of apples. So he likes the sour green ones. N is for nutritious. Apples are a very healthy natural food. They have no fat and they contain fiber, which helps your stomach digest other foods. So what's that bunny trying to tell Bear? He's saying, hey man, that if you eat too many donuts, that's not healthy for you. That's not good for your heart and your body. Try an apple. It's healthier. Put the donut down. Stormer has to tell me that sometimes when there's donuts in the teacher's lounge. Put the donut down, Holokai. O is for orchard. An apple orchard is an apple farm. Apples are grown in every state in the United States and in every province in Canada. Orchard. That's an apple farm. If I ever hit the lottery, I'm going to buy an apple orchard. P is for pollen. Pollen from apple blossoms makes it possible for an apple fruit to form inside the flower. Bees help move pollen from one apple blossom to another. Remember how we talked about that? The powdery yellow stuff that makes me sneeze? Bees move that from flower to flower and it helps the apples grow. Q is for quarters. Fox cuts his apple into quarters, 4 pieces of the same size. How many quarters make a half? So what he did is he took the apple and he cut it in half. That made 2 pieces, right? And then he cut those 2 in half and it made 4 pieces. R is for ripe. A ripe red apple is irresistible. The codling moth caterpillar likes eating them as much as Fox does. Uh-oh. That caterpillar ate through all those apples. That reminds me of the very hungry caterpillar. He ate through some apples in that story. S is for seeds. Fox cuts an apple in half. The center is a star shape with 5 points, and each point of the star contains a seed. When I cut my apple in half before, I should have cut it deeper. You probably would have been able to see the five points. T is for trees. All apples grow on trees. Some apple trees can grow to be 100 years old. Wow. Now this, they didn't start out with a seed. Sometimes if you have a baby tree, you can just plant the baby tree if you want to try to speed things up. U is for underground. The roots of an apple tree spread underground. Roots soak up water and nutrients and keep the tree from falling down. Look at those roots. Remember how we were talking about the parts of the tree? They suck up the water, suck up the food and the dirt for the tree, and it helps it grow. But look what's underground. They should go on a treasure hunt. There's a treasure chest and dinosaur bones, fossils. V is for varieties. There are hundreds of varieties of apples. Each variety looks and tastes different. Try them all. So look, there's that Granny Smith, the sour one. Oh, Honeycrisp. That's one of my favorites. And Fuji. There's my daughter's favorite, Macintosh. And Red Delicious. Those red ones you see in the store, the common ones, that's a good one. A Gala apple's good. But there are some crazy names for these apples. Like this one's called a Dr. Hog. What? And this one's called a King David. Wow. I'd like to try some of those. W is for wax. Fox rubbed an apple on his shirt, polishing the natural wax on the apple's skin. The wax helps keep the apple from drying out. So have you ever seen people go like this to try to shine up their apple? X is for an X in an apple pie. It is as easy as pie to make an apple pie, and rolling out the dough is a lot of fun. Cut an X in the top of the pie dough to let steam escape while the pie bakes. I do that when I make my pies. I make little slits in the dough so that the steam can come out, because if the steam can't come out, it'll bubble over into the oven, so the steam needs to escape. Look at how delicious that looks. All the layers of apples and cinnamon. Delicious. Y is for yield. One tree can produce hundreds of apples. The apples collected from a tree are called its yield. Whoa. Look at all the bushels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bushels of apples that tree gave them. Z is for 0. Fox ate the last apple. Now there are no apples left. Ugh. His friends are like, dude, you didn't leave any for us. Look at his belly, how full it is. The end. I love that book. That was very cute. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.